The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and guests and do not necessarily reflect the policies and positions of Owens Community College, the administration, faculty, staff, students, programs, or the Owens Outcome Student Media Center.
Hey, I am Deon Hudson.
And I'm Dennis Hudson.
We have a very special, exclusive guest today, Miss Glenda Hudson. Glenda is going to explain a little bit about, just to kind of clear up what's been going on. And like I said, unless you have been under a rock, there's been a situation with her son, James Hudson, who is now at the University of Cincinnati, was at the University of Michigan, and was trying to get a waiver. Glenda's going to kind of let us know what happened, and it's just going to be a great show. But Glenda, I want to start off with, can you explain a little bit about the situation for people that don't know?
Yes. First of all, in October of last year, my son decided to transfer from the University of Michigan, and he went to Cincinnati. First of all, my son struggled at Michigan from the beginning. He went there in June of 2017. Never really I don't know really what to call it. He just never really clicked in, didn't fit in. He didn't feel like that. But of course, me as a parent, taking off the professional hat, because I'm a mental health professional myself. I have a master's degree in clinical and school counseling, and I'm also a licensed social worker. So as a parent, I'm trying to get him to understand from the beginning, this is a new environment, you got to get used to it, those type of things. I had people calling him, talking to him, trying to help him work through some things. At that time, did we think he was suffering from any type of mental health, depression? No. We're just thinking it's an issue about getting used to your new environment, learning your environment, learning what's going on. Continues on, we get to, a year later, he gets redshirted his first year, gets into the second year, it continues on, the same thing. In the meantime, of course, his position was changed 3 weeks after getting to Michigan. And after that, he had several position coaching changes and things like that, which I know is all a part of college sports. So I'm, as a parent, he's calling me, I'm calling coaches constantly at University of Michigan, as they asked me to do when he went there. If you have any issues, you have any questions, call us. I'm constantly calling, saying, can you talk to James? Can you see what's going on? I did that from day one, actually. I get some responses back from some coaches saying, yes, I'll talk to him, I'll have lunch with him. Oh, he seems fine, everything's okay, da-da-da-da. But I'm hearing from my son every day, Mom, is not fine, it's not good. Again, not thinking, just thinking again, it's an adjustment period, which it really wasn't, So we're back, now we're at October of last year, like I said, I request a meeting to talk with Coach Harbaugh. I asked for Coach Harbaugh, Coach Warner, who was his position coach at that time, because now he's on the offensive side. And we go in, we meet, and Coach Harbaugh, when I first walk into the meeting, I actually say to him, I'm here to find out, what do we need to do? What's going on? I actually say the words to him, my son is down, disheartened, something's wrong, something's going on. Coach Harbaugh repeats those words to me, writes them on a piece of paper, and just says, James, what's the problem? You don't want to be here? You want to leave? And my son actually says, well, at this time, Coach Warner is not even a part of the meeting. My son, well, I want Coach Warner to come to the meeting also. Coach Harbaugh had an attitude from the moment we walked in. We went there not to even talk about transferring. I'm going there to find out what it is that we need to do. What can I do? What can you do? What can we do? We didn't get that. Coach Warner finally joins the meeting. Coach Warner is trying to talk to my son. Coach Harbaugh just kind of shuts him down and says again, no, James, do you want to leave? And so at that point, my son said, yes, well, you know where the compliance office is. If you want to leave, you can go to the compliance office. And that's how the meeting ended, abruptly, just like that.
Well, let me ask you something. What from day one? Why Michigan? Why did you guys pick Michigan? I mean, when he was being recruited, what were you guys looking for in the school before we get into all the other stuff?
Okay.
What were you looking for in the school and why Michigan?
Okay, Michigan came into, my son had 21 offers from schools, and we chose Michigan. Several schools had talked to him about possibly changing positions because he was a defensive tackle, okay? And other schools were talking about offense. He was not at that time, he wasn't feeling the part about the offensive side because he's always done defense. Michigan promised him, no, James, we are recruiting you for defense. We're not thinking about offense. No, we want you on defense. This is where we need you at. We need you on defense. So that was a big determining factor as to why we chose Michigan, because my son did not want to play offense. He wanted to stay on the defensive side of the ball. And Michigan basically promised him, this is what you're going to do. Until 3 weeks into camp starts August. He goes there in June. He's, doing conditioning and things like that. Camp starts 3 weeks in, 2 weeks before the season begins. No, we're going to switch you to offense. He didn't want to do that. But again, he's, listening. You have an 18-year-old, right? And he feels they know where I'm needed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try this, and which he did. So that was a big factor in why we chose Michigan.
So Glenda, upon the waiver, because a lot of people who may be watching may not understand, the confusing part is, okay, you did the waiver to go to the University of Cincinnati with the compliance department. Did you mention is that what the waiver said, like the mental health stuff? Because you are expert in it. Did you say, like, because they were giving waivers out like,
yes, that was
like crazy.
Yes, that was the basis of his waiver, was the mental health issue that he was experiencing. But again, Michigan had an issue with saying that, well, we never was told about a mental health issue. He probably didn't know what to call it.
Okay.
He knew he was experiencing something, some type of feelings, but he never got an actual diagnosis at Michigan.
Okay.
He did not seek, but as soon as he went to Cincinnati, like a week or two after being there, he actually went to see the psychiatrist and a psychologist there who actually diagnosed him with depression and anxiety after being at Cincinnati.
And explain to him, what is it? What were you guys looking for with this waiver? What was a waiver supposed to grant?
Immediate eligibility,
Okay,
so that he wouldn't have to sit out the year.
Okay.
Because we know, if you transfer as an undergraduate student and you go to
you have to sit out.
a certain school, a certain level, that you have to, the rule is you have to sit out. But as we know, the NCAA is all over the map with these waivers because they're granting them for far less things as a mental health condition. And I guess my issue is Coach Harbaugh, came on the scene saying, actually, he didn't say my son's name, of course, but at that moment, who could he have been talking about when he talked about players that use mental health as reasons to seek immediate eligibility from the NCAA? And Coach Harbaugh, as far as I know, has no clinical experience, not a clinician in any shape, form, or fashion. So,
well, there was an article, Glenda, and I talked to you about it, and they said that they have a mental health professional that talks to players. Did you know anything about that, or did James, just playing devil's advocate here?
No, I did not. And actually, I'm sure they probably do. I'm not saying they don't. But we was never afforded that because, again, we walk in to talk about something, and basically Harbaugh just shuts everything down saying, do you want to leave?
Oh, well. Well, Glenn, I'll tell you what. This is not.
We got to touch on this.
We got to come back and touch on this, guys. Stay with us, please. This is going to be a great segment. We have Miss Glenda Hudson here. I'm Deon Thompson. This is
Dennis Hobson.
Do not leave us.